Happy Thursday, Facebook fam. It's your girls Lace and Sutton from the Flavor Room back to Gunflap again. And today we are going to talk about growth outside the paradigm. Woo! What does that even mean? But we want to talk to you about that, what we've been doing, and what it all has to do with you, basically. So, off we go. Comment, ask questions, hashtag replay, and all the things.
Yes, off we go. Sounds super scary. Growth outside the paradigm. What does that mean? That means, yes, you can watch that. That means just outside of what you're told you're supposed to be doing, outside of the so-called norm. And we really just kind of wanted to talk about what's been going on for us in front and behind the scenes, and then relate it back to you all and how you can start growing your business, growing your brand outside of the paradigm.
Yes, and what we did, like, because we've been practicing this shit. You know that we don't just come on here and talk about stuff that we don't know what we're doing or that we haven't done ourselves. And we have grown outside of the paradigm, about outside of all the things you're supposed to do, because we broke every single rule in the so-called rule book. We have not built the flavor room on the bog standard way of doing things. And if we had, I don't believe we'd even be right where we are at the moment, encroaching on only 5 months in. This is still brand new, people, and we are encroaching on 20 members, and it's invite only. This is not butts and seats. This is not click the button and join us. No, this is invite only. This is unique. This is different. And we were told that this was a very stupid idea that would never work. And we said, well, guess what? We can do it anyway. And we did. And it does work. So, in fact, one of the biggest comments we get all the time is, oh my gosh, I love the fact it's invite only. I mean, that says it all, really. People love this stuff, even though we've been told that this is dumb. But it's working. So that's just one of the rules that we have broken. And my goodness, there are so many more.
Let me see, what other rules have we broken? Having standards, I think that's something else that we've broken. Usually it's just, as you said, first of all, let everybody in, but also let everybody in and kind of do whatever. That is something that we have not done. We do have standards in place, and we have effectively created a culture, and it shows because now we have our members repeating, the phrases that we put in there. They are starting to embody the flavor room ethos. So that's one of the things. And something else is actually caring, not creating a space and just filling it with dusty videos and, templates. We have not done that at all. And because of the way that we've done things, we haven't burned ourselves out. We haven't created something where we are like constantly churning out content just to fill, the coiffers of some, ghostly tumbleweeds membership. That's not what we've done. We've adopted a membership model, but it's a membership model that is really not a membership at all, not in the traditional sense.
Yes, absolutely. And all of this has not come without its obstacles and challenges. We have had those right from the off. When this all started, people will tell you, oh, but you should have a nice landing page and have everything all ready and set up. And we just went out there with an idea 24 hours after speaking about it. And we had a Google Doc and a Stripe link, which worked. And then since then, we've been told all kinds of things. This isn't going to work. You guys should just pipe down and be quiet. We've had people come at us and attack us publicly, privately. And it's been hard. Some of this shit has been really hard. There's been times where I felt really down in the dumps and like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure, not sure if I can handle this. But you know what? That's all part of it. And that's all part of the training. Because if you're going to go out there and lead, if you're going to go out there and redefine the standard, and be, you know, holding the torch to move forward, this stuff is going to happen, and this is all training for that. So yeah, you've got to be prepared for those obstacles and challenges and to get through them. I'm really lucky that there's two of us. You know, I'm not doing this on my own. I've got Sutton, she's got me, we've got each other's backs, and I think that's been really, really important and key to us moving through these challenges as well, because we've had each other. Um, and if you're going to do it on your own, you can, but it's nice to have some support. So yeah, just be very prepared for that. And you got to bob, you got to weave, you got to pivot, you got to do all the things, because things are going to come up and you're going to have a choice. And the choice is, are you going to let these things get in your way? Are you going to let them hold you back? Are you going to make them stop you from going where you want to go? Are you going to just lay down and go, okay, well, I quit? Or are you going to get your ass up and move forward? And that's a choice you're going to have to make. And there's always a way forward. There's always a silver lining. And we've just continued, and things have just continued to build and build and build. This feels like it's got a mind of its own, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you want to just kind of stay where you are, then that's exactly what you're going to get. Like anything that you build that is worth value, that has purpose, there are going to be obstacles and challenges. So if you want everything to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, you might as well just go get a job. And that's the reality of it. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. Like there's no way around it. There's going to be some days where it's quiet, where you're like, oh, no one's watching, no one's paying attention. But if you are planting seeds, if you are doing your due diligence, there is no such thing as quiet, because things are always moving behind the scenes. And that's something that the gurus don't tell you. They're like, oh, if nobody's DMing you, then you're wrong. If nobody's da 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 da, you're wrong. No, if you have built that foundation, you're just waiting for the results to catch up. You just have to keep going. And that's where I think a lot of people get tripped up. They don't keep going. They want the instant gratification. Business is not an instant gratification thing. Hustling, on the other hand, now that's an instant gratification thing. But having a real business that is sustainable long term for you, for your family, and gives you the things that you say that you want, that's not a wham bam, thank you, man.
That requires some patience. And that can be something that's really hard to learn. I think, especially in today's society where everything is instant gratification, you know, even down to getting online and you want something to load immediately. And if it doesn't happen in the first zero point 0.3 seconds, you're like, oh, I give up, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back. It's all terrible. So that's something you really have to learn and hone. But my gosh, is it worth it? You know, if you can get to that, okay, I'm going to delay this gratification, I'm not going to spend the money that comes in immediately, because it may well do. You know, we have made sales consistently every single week since we started, and we haven't just gone, hey, let's just put that in our pockets and go drink some wine. Neither of us drink, by the way. um but we have reinvested, and if you can do that as well, you're going to see results. Yes, it's going to be later on down the line. Yes, it's going to take a little bit longer, but actually, it's actually going to come quicker, because you'll be putting your resources into places that are going to get you results. But that also needs some thinking about and some planning, because what you don't need to be doing is, oh, let me go hire another coach, let me go buy another program. No, you need to think smart, reinvest smart, and you will actually grow quicker. But it's going to feel like, oh, it's going to take longer, but actually you're accelerating your growth just by being clever.
Absolutely. And I saw a quote the other day from, I believe it was Jack Ma. I don't know if you know who that is. He's the founder of Alibaba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to business. And he was like, you know, people are patient when it comes to a job. They'll stay in a job for 40 years, make the same wages and not have anything, you know, wrong with that. but they will not be patient for a year to start their own thing.
Yeah. And that's really sad, I think. And that goes to that instant gratification. And I think that, oh, well, if I'm in a job, it's secure. I'm going to get paid every single month. Whereas if
Not
I start my
anymore.
own thing, I might not. But exactly, not anymore. The job
Nope.
market is changing. Nothing is stable just because you've been doing whatever you do for however many years, or you've been with the same company for however many years. That doesn't mean nothing anymore. That doesn't mean they're going to be paying you next month. They could pull that rug from under your foot bottom at any time. And then what? And
And
people are clocking onto this.
yeah, I mean, we've seen it behind the scenes.
Yes,
You know,
we have.
this is a real thing. It doesn't matter your skill set or how long, you've been loyal to that company. It does not matter. And with the job market, look, this is not meant to scare anybody or incite fear, but we have to be honest about these things. The landscape is changing and it's not going to go back to the way it was.
Ever.
No. When have we ever experienced things in society where things went back? They don't go back. They keep moving
Other than
forward
fashion
and we
trends.
adapt. Say again?
But other than fashion trends, like the flares come
Right.
around,
Yeah.
the polo necks come around, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah. No.
No, that's it. So, and this is how it comes back to you. Like, what are you gonna do about all of this kind of stuff? How does growing outside the paradigm affect you? This is something, whether or not you're in a stable job, whether or not you think you're going to be doing whatever you've been doing for the rest of time, it is smart to have your own thing going. That doesn't mean quit your job and go build a business, but it could look like starting a side hustle, starting something that is yours, something that is where you're not replaceable. And when you're in your own business and you are the face or the brand or the wheels behind it, you're not replaceable. As much as like they like to say, oh, AI is going to replace you all. No, it's not. Humans and human connection and all of that kind of stuff is not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, I think it's only gonna become more important as people start to rely on AI and start to try to replace themselves in their own businesses with AI. But people are not gonna connect with that. Not the real ones. They're not interested in your AI twin that doesn't actually look anything like you. And even if it does, they're still not interested in that. They're not interested in a copy that sounds like ChatGPT. They're not interested in talking to your chatbots on Messenger. They want to connect with you. People want to connect with people. People buy from people. So that's not going anywhere anytime soon. And it would be smart for you to be doing something, starting something where you're in control of that because you just don't know what's going to happen in the future in your so-called stable job at the moment.
Absolutely. And that is part of what we are supporting our members with inside of the flavor room is growing outside of the paradigm. I mean, the flavor room itself is outside of the paradigm. So we're supporting our members with growing outside of the paradigm through the educational opportunities that we offer, through the resources, through the intentional community, through the ecosystemic building of actually helping each other, fostering relationships that lead to results.
Yes, and not providing anyone with any more damn blueprints because that's not what we do. We are supporting each other to do what they want to do, to what we want to do. As individuals, we're not saying just do this thing and that's going to work for you. This is completely different. This is something that the world has never seen. There is nothing like the flavor room out there, and we pride ourselves on helping people to do what they want to do in their way that works for them, right? This is not copy us, copy them, go see what working for so and so over there and just try and make something that looks like what they're doing. At the end of the day, you don't actually know what somebody is doing in their business. You can look at it from the outside, but you actually have no idea what's going on in the back end, how they've built that, why they've built in the way they have, what the intention behind it is, and all of that stuff. You've got no idea. So you can look at someone from the outside and say, oh, well, that looks like it's working. Let me try that. And then you're like, oh, that doesn't seem to work for me. And that's why you can't copycat. So if you want to be in a space that is going to support you and your uniqueness to do what it is that you want to do in a way that's, going to work for you, that's aligned for you as an individual, this is where it's at.
Yep, this is where it's at. And if you are looking for a space that actually says what it does, they're not just barking about community and empowerment and, all of those nice things. They're actually doing it. It is in motion, and you can see it in the fruits. You can see it in those who represent themselves from that space. You can see it in the messaging, um, just the professionalism of the space, that it is the real deal, that it's the flavor room, hands down. I mean, the things that we are doing, we don't even really we don't really talk about the things that we are doing. We don't really get on here and just braggadocious about any of it. We most certainly could, but we just don't do that. There's just so much that people just have no idea. There's so many things that we're working on, so many things that are unfolding just in the short span of not even 5 months. It is absolutely phenomenal and incredible. And we just let it speak for itself. And it is. And that's why we have our own people marketing for us at this point. Not because we're telling them to do it, but because they are having a great experience and they want to share that with others. They are proud to be in the flavor room, and it's not something that they're, trying to hide or anything like that.
So you might be wondering, okay, well, if you guys aren't teaching like a course, you're not coaching, you're not giving us a blueprint, you're not telling us what business we need to go out and do, and these are the actual steps. What the hell are you doing? Like, what do I need to bring to the table to be able to get involved in here and get the most out of it? And I'm going to tell you, what you need to have is one, a vision. You don't need to know the hows, you don't need to know the ins and outs. You just have to have a vision. Okay, come with the idea, the big idea, like the big picture. And secondly, you need to be willing to be visible. We hear that a lot, visibility, visibility, but you do need to be willing to be visible. You need to be willing to be seen, because we are going to put you on. We are going to put you in places and give you opportunities to be seen in places where you might be thinking like, damn, this goes far beyond the realms of, fannying about in small Facebook circles or threads or anything like that. We are going beyond social media, and you are not going to be able to be successful if you want to hide. And that can be quite scary. Like, we get it. We're not forcing you to do anything, but you need to have a willing. And if you are willing, you will have all the support from us and everyone in the room to go out there and do the scary things and be supported to do it.
Absolutely. And you're not going to have a business if you don't want to be visible. People can't buy what they don't know exists. And in 2026, I mean, it's true now, but even more so in 2026, people are going to need to see you. And it's going to need to be right in front of their face. And it's going to need to be right in front of their face consistently, not once and poof, you're gone. You need to be in their grill as much as possible. Now, that doesn't mean you churning out content all the time. That's a different story. But what it means is you being consistently visible, where your brand, your message is imprinted in their subconscious. So when they're ready to move forward, they're going to be thinking about you. But that's not going to happen in a vacuum. And it's definitely not going to happen with you having 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Businesses are not built 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I think that is the biggest thing I want to say when it comes to growth outside of the paradigm. You cannot straddle the fence. Even in a side hustle, you cannot straddle the fence. You're going to have to give to get.
Mhm. Absolutely. So if that is sounding like something you're like, do you know what? I have a vision and I have the willing, then you need to book a Flavor Fit call and come and have a chat with us. And we will just see how Flavor Room might support you and if it's a good fit for you. And then we just go from there. It starts from $37 a month. People have said to us, oh, why is it so cheap? Because we want to meet people wherever they are, no matter where they live. You know, we want to make sure that this is open to anyone who really wants it. So that's why it starts there. Please do not equate cheap with crap the same way you should not equate expensive with, oh, this is going to be like top dog's bollocks, because that's not true. Okay. Come and chat to us. Let's see where we go from there. And I promise you, even if nothing happens after that call, you will still walk away knowing what kind of support that you need. Book that call. All of the information is in the comments. If you have questions or you're curious, you can ask us in the comments or you can DM myself or something.
That's it. Book the call and cancel them all.
That's right. Speak to you soon.